talk about the Democrats owning it, that's not the polls that I've seen, Jennifer. The polls that I've seen is that everybody clearly understands that this is Donald Trump's shutdown. It is a case that should be won. There are about 20 states that have filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration. Why must lawsuits be filed in order to ensure that children and elderly people and vulnerable people in this country are allowed to eat?
We have more reporting to cover on lawsuits being brought against the Trump administration, with this time over 20 states suing them about the food stamps being paused and his inaction in keeping them flowing. So if you can, take a moment, leave us a like on the video. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. You guys help us out a ton. We really appreciate it. And let's just get right to the breakdown.
It is a case that should be won. There are about 20 states that have filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration. And there's precedent for this. There is a 1970 Supreme Court case that essentially says if you withdraw welfare benefits from recipients, you can't do that without giving them a hearing. That essentially individuals that receive these benefits have a property right, and you have to give them due process, i.e. this hearing, before you can withdraw those benefits. We know that hasn't happened in this case. We know that there's about $6 billion in contingency funding that's available. We know that there's a federal statute that says you shall provide these nutritional aid to recipients. So the big question is, why must lawsuits be filed in order to ensure that children and elderly people and vulnerable people in this country are allowed to eat?
And it's not like Trump has shown an unwillingness to move funds without congressional approval. So that excuse doesn't serve them well here. It's not like there isn't bipartisan support for a bill that would fund food stamps throughout the shutdown that Mike Johnson himself said he refuses to bring to the floor because they'd lose leverage. It's not like Trump found money for veterans for WIC to send $40 billion to Argentina. It's almost like he's personally trying to pick winners and losers in this shutdown based off what he thinks will be the most politically advantageous to him to both do and not. Hardly American first. And it's disgusting, the amount of kids who will have to go to sleep hungry, the elderly forced to miss meals, people on Social Security that are going to have to choose between this or that, mothers working 2 jobs who won't be able to provide dinner for their kids, free school lunches that are not going to be able to be provided. I mean, it's downright evil.
You may care about the fact that people could literally go hungry in this situation. Jennifer, the Republicans are arguing, look, I mean, we feel for those people, but we don't have the money.
I am not a lawyer, and I will tell you, I don't know how the lawsuit is going to turn out, but I will tell you that there is a really easy way to get people to get their SNAP benefits again, and that is to have the Democrats come to the table and open the government. As John Thune said, 13 times they have said no. So this is on the Democrats. And by the way, new polling is showing just that there is more support now. Republican support is ticking up when it comes to the shutdown rather than the Democrats, because the Democrats are owning this. So look, I don't want to see anybody in trouble. I don't want to see anybody who is suffering. I don't think any of us on this panel want to see that. But there are so many questions that need to be asked, including why Gavin Newsom and Rob Bonta want to join a lawsuit instead of maybe perhaps figuring out how to make it more affordable to live in California.
Yeah, guys, California with the highest access to healthcare, mental health care, highest minimum wage, top-ranked public education system, surely aren't doing anything to make sure it's affordable there. It's not like they're literally fighting for the people to keep their food stamps right now. It's not like that's doing just that. Republicans simply do not care. They just cut money to food stamps. They feel like these are handouts, you know, but not the billions of dollars to contractors, banks, and corporations, their donors, lobbyists, Elon Musk, oil CEOs. If they wanted the government back open, they could just negotiate with Democrats. I know, groundbreaking idea. It would literally just be that simple. They only need 7 seats. They wouldn't have to negotiate that much. When you feel like you don't have to operate within democracy, however, while literally controlling a democratic government, obviously it's going to cause things to fall apart.
You talk about the Democrats owning it. That's not the polls that I've seen, Jennifer. The polls that I've seen is that everybody clearly understands that this is Donald Trump's shutdown. And Donald Trump is finding money to pay benefits to those in the military, to pay salaries for those in law enforcement. But he can't find the money. He won't use those contingency funds to feed children. Is
it technically Donald Trump's shutdown when the Democrats are refusing to vote for a continuing resolution to just keep the government open.
Well-
I mean, they have the ability to say, let's punt on this thing, keep the government
And
open.
the Republicans have the ability to come to the table and make reasonable policies around things like SNAP benefits, health insurance.
A president who picks and chooses winners and losers in disasters or chaos, times of turmoil, is never going to be a president for all Americans, which is what times like this demand. Biden was pre-approving aid to red states who needed it, doing all he could to be a president for all Americans. Meanwhile, Trump is legitimately playing politics with people's lives. Like, at this point, it's not a game. He's shutting down the government so he can fire more workers, withhold grants from blue districts, and play king as he lets food stamps get paused, but sends $40 billion to Argentina. They're focused on everything except improving the lives of everyday Americans. You truly hate to see it. And I just wish they would come to the table and try to operate within the bounds of democracy, you know, the least we can ask. But when you want to destroy democracy, when you want to destroy public service and goods, why would you operate within good faith in it? I just hope the voters remember this next time they think, should I trust Republicans to have my best interests in mind?